Let me ask you a question. If you're starting out in woodwork and you look on YouTube, you will see loads and loads of people saying, oh, you must have this tool, you must have that tool, this is the best tool ever, blah, blah, blah. But what's the truth? Stick around and I'll tell you what the truth is. It's simpler and a lot cheaper than you might think. Let's start off with some of the basics. Hand tools, for example. Everybody wants to talk about power tools. But when you start woodworking, it's hand tools that you usually start with. And there's a good reason for that. One thing, you don't need a dust mask. You don't need eye protection. Unless you're doing something particularly dangerous. But with hand tools, you haven't got dust flying everywhere. If there's a bit of sawdust, it's just literally falling onto the ground. It's not blowing up into the air. It's machines that create the dust, not the hand tools. So let's start with a few simple hand tools that can make a lot of things. And that's what we're going to be doing further down the line, is making things with simple hand tools, whether you're in a workshop or whether you're working on an outside bench on the patio. For years and years, I didn't have a workbench, but I loved to make things. And sometimes, because I had a young family, etc., I had to make things because I couldn't afford to buy them. Now then, let's look at a quick list, because I want to keep this video nice and short. You need a pencil. You need a tape measure, because without those you can't really start doing anything. Then you need some form of ruler. Now, if you've got metal rulers like these, great. But failing that, use a couple of plastic rulers. They're still rulers. They still draw a straight line. You can still measure with them. A square. If you're going to cut wood and make anything, whether it's a shelf or whether you're going to build a bookcase, whatever it is you're going to build, it's useful to have a square. Now you can go around with car boot sales and you can pick up joiners squares. This one's a particularly big one, but or you can buy squares like these. These are combination squares. That's a little one, 150mm 6-inch, and that's the more commonly known one, which is a foot long or 300mm or thereabouts. It doesn't matter which one you use. It depends on the job you're doing. If you're only working with very small timber, then the little 6-inch will do the job. So now you can measure your wood and you can mark the ends of it nice and square, if square's what's required. Because sometimes if you're fitting a shelf into a corner, you'd be amazed, particularly in old British houses, how out of square those corners can be. Once you've got those, you need to be able to cut wood. So you can go and buy a handsaw similar to this. This one works fine, less than 10 quid. I think that one was about 6 quid actually. And then you need to be able to fix things into that. For example, screwdrivers. I've got a couple of hand screwdrivers there. One's a slot screwdriver and one's a posi drive. Of course, if you've got one, electric drill. Great for drilling holes. Put a screwdriver bit in and you can put your screws in that way as well. And you'll be amazed how many times you need some form of hammer. Whether it's to drive a raw plug into a wall or knock a nail in. The sort of things that every household usually has. Those very, very basic tools. Oh, don't forget, of course, if you've got a drill, you will need drill bits. And we'll come to that in a moment. That set of basic hand tools, and you can make things. And you can make all sorts of things. And not necessarily just rustic things. But we are going to make some rustic things further down the line. Simple things, bird boxes, planters for the patio, etc. But there's all sorts of things you make, but you can also make furniture, nice looking furniture. The other thing, of course, is your timber. Is it rough sawn or is it plain timber, and how we finish it? But right now I'm just concentrating on tools. So that's what you need to do, is get yourself some of these basic hand tools. Forget spending 100 quid on this or that or the other. Get those basic tools first. That's where you start, because those are everyday tools. You will use them every day. I'm Dave. I'm the Skint woodworker, and I'll have another tip for you very soon. Okay, take care for now. Oh, by the way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you can, please leave a comment in the down below there. I'll be interested to know what you think. I'd be interested to know particularly what it is you would like to be making, and can I help you in that journey? You may want to know, how do I do this? Is there a way round something so that I don't have any fancy tools? I don't have a table saw or a bandsaw or chop saw or planers or a lathe or whatever. Are there ways round those things? Please leave those comments. I'll answer those questions for you. All right. Anyway, I'm Dave. Take care.